Okay, ladies. This would be a third time's a charm for me because I've tried to do this 3 times now. So, order of operations. This is our first, even though it's the second section of chapter 1, it's just the easiest one to start off with. So, a lot of us already know the order of operations as PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? Multiplication and division, though, must be done left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. Left to right. Alright, so we want to make sure that we always understand the process and the strategies to go about these things. A colleague of mine has actually used the acronym GEMMA. And the GEMMA means you first evaluate the group terms, then you do the exponents, then multiplication and division. And so that's why he puts M. Multiplication and division, left to right. And then addition and subtraction. So whichever one you like to use, just always make sure that addition and subtraction, multiplication and division, they go left to right. Alright, so let's start with this first one. Write it down. So we start with left to right. I do these first. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then I put a plus. And then I have 2 times 6, which is 12. And that would equal 14. It's a pretty basic one. Okay? But I did everything from left to right. I first multiplied or divided. Then I added. Next one. A little bit more complicated. I have these brackets. So I want to deal with these brackets first. I drop down the 15. I put the minus. And I do everything on the inside first. So 3 minus 2 is 1 squared. And then plus 6 on the outside. And I just gotta keep bringing things down until I get rid of the grouped terms, right? So inside of here I have 10 minus 1. And then I put the plus 6 again. 15 minus 10 minus 1 is 9. Plus 6. Excuse my chicken scratch. So 15 minus 9 is 6. And then 6 plus 6 is 12. So if you notice, I did this first, right? Left. And then the right. So, well, that's not the right way to kind of identify that. I first did that. 15 minus 9 to get 6. Alright, moving on to the next one. Write that down. Alright, on these types of problems, you always want to simplify the top and bottom first. I am actually simplify the top and bottom first. So I have 9 squared, and I have 3 times 3, which is equal to 9 times squared is 81. And 3 times 3 is 9. And then divide. 81 divided by 9 is 9. So if I were to go about doing this a different way and did it 81, which is 9 squared, divided by 3 times 3. So let's say I put this in my calculator. This would be 81 divided by 3 times 3. In your calculator, it would do this first, which is 9. And then 9 times 3, which is 27. Not correct. Okay? So these things would need to be put in parentheses if you were to use your calculator. Alright, so next one here. I can do this the same step. I simplify the inside. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. Minus negative 1 plus 6 is 5. And that's 5 squared. And I bring down the 5. 5 minus 5 squared, which is 25, is equal to negative 20. So for the most part, this would have been just fine putting in your calculator, and it would have evaluated it to be this. But you have to be careful in some cases, okay? So we move on to this 108, and I'm just going to put the 108, and then we're going to do divided by 3 times 9 plus 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, I have to evaluate everything in here first. If I put this into my calculator, it just like that, it would work. But if I do it without, 108 divided by 3 times 9 plus 9 is 18. Then I have 108 divided by 3 times 8 is 54. Then I got a nice number. And if you need to go to the side and do that, 54 times what? I'm going to say 3 because, oh wait. Yeah. I need an 8 here. So I'm going to say so 3 times 18 is 54. 3. Too much. So this would be 2. Again, you're allowed to use your calculators for this, but knowing how to put it in your calculator is very crucial. So the more you know how to set it up and everything is the best. So now we have expressions that are actually with variables that are assigned a value, which we'll learn next time about all variables should have an assigned value. I want to make sure we plug them in correctly. So I know that this 2 belongs to the A, so the A goes in there. This B is a 6, and that 6 goes in there. And that C is a 4, and that goes in there. Excuse my arrows. So I have 2. What's crucial is you put the 2 in parentheses. So if that 2 had a negative, that could make a difference. Times 3 times 6 plus 5 divided by 4. So you see that 4 went in for the C. That 6 went in for the B. And that 2 went in for the A. And then I evaluate, right? So 2 squared is 4. On the inside, I have 3 times 6, which is 18, plus 5, divided by 4. And we definitely have to go left or right. I'm going to run out of space here. So we have 4 times 18 plus 5 is 22, divided by 4. 23. Sorry, 23. This might be counterintuitive because we have 4 times the same, 4 times like 23 divided by 4. So it's like if I multiply something by 4 and then divide something by 4, it obviously is the same thing, right? But if I did 23 times 4, I'd get 92. And then divide that by 4. So it ends up being the exact same thing there. If you are able to recognize that if I'm multiplying something by a number and then dividing it by the same number, it clearly is going to be the same thing. Again, your calculators are able to use this. And if you put this in your calculator, it would have calculated it correctly. Something a little bit more complicated here. Again, I have this 4 that needs to go into the X. I have this 5 that needs to go into the Y. Looks like I'm finding new things out when I use this. So sorry. So that 5 is the Y. That goes in there. And I have 3 that goes in there. So let's go ahead and plug those things in. And I always want to plug those in with the parentheses. So I have 3 times 4 squared plus, change the color, to 2 times y, which is 5, plus 3 to the third. Okay, so if we were to simplify this, we would have 3 times 4 squared, which is 16, plus, parentheses, 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 3 squared, or I'm sorry, 3 to the third, which is 27. We keep going. So 3 times 16 plus 37. And 3 times 16 is 48 plus 37, which is equal to 85. All right. So order of operations is not so bad. It just is knowing how to do it in a specific way and making sure you do it the correct way, or else it will mess you up and you won't get the correct answer. Any questions you have, you know you can ask me.